So, earlier today we were actually on a brief live stream, and we couldn't really do much because it was just to come celebrate Governor Adeleke for his victory, in fact, his landslide victory. So, I was at work as of then, but I just needed to get a bit of a better place, even though I couldn't secure one, but I still needed to come on live stream so we can be able to just celebrate his victory a bit, right? So I told us we'll be coming live again this evening, and then we'll talk about it when the result is officially declared. So once again, congratulations to the governor of Osun State, the incumbent governor in person of Governor Adeleke. We know that Governor Adeleke is actually contested under the Accord Party, and Accord Party is more or less one of the small party as of the moment. He's the only governorship candidate as of today. Is the only governorship candidate. And it's not easy when you go, especially in Nigerian politics, when you go from a small party to contest with bigger platforms, especially platforms like APC that have experienced hands, people that are well versed and experienced in Nigerian politics. And that was why it was a tug of war this very election. Like for me, somehow I loved how the election went. It wasn't more or less a free ride because when most of these candidates get a free ride, they don't value what they have when they get to office. They forget that they were voted in by the people. So they start misbehaving and the rest. So at least somehow to an extent, I always love it when there is tough contest between the various candidates, so that when they finally get to office, they will actually work for the good of the either the state or the people. So that's why, to an extent, I love the contest that happened between the various candidates. But however, it goes beyond that to prove what will happen in 2027. Because 2027 is going to be the general election for which it's going to decide the fate of the country for the next 4 years and beyond. And so, because in past times, people have been complaining that votes actually do not count in Nigeria. But this election have gone beyond that. It have gone to prove that if the people can actually come out and vote, votes can actually count. And that the power of the people is far way bigger than that of those in office because we give them the power to rule us, right? Now, I'm also happy that Governor Adeleke also won, which proved that if the people are resilient enough, indeed, our votes can actually count. And that is a kudos to them. To the people of Osun State connecting to this live stream, I want to say congratulations to all of you. I know there were a lot of tension, a lot of drama along the way. And it's interesting to know that a couple of lives were lost at the end of the day. Yeah, a couple of lives were lost in that election. Although the news may not carry that much, but it was actually recorded that a couple of lives were lost during the course of the election. And not just that, a lot of people sustained injuries. Some of them, at the end of the day, they were arrested. Some are still in detention. That showed you how much the people needed to pay for them to secure the governorship candidate for which they needed. And more will be needed in 2027 if we must get a better country, we must get a better Nigeria. So you will not stay just at your house, at your comfort, and expect that APC will come and hand over power like that for you. Power indeed is not given, power is taken. They don't give you power, you take power by force. That's one of the philosophy when it comes to leadership. They don't give you power at your own beck and call. Power is taken, you take it, right? In as much as that principle is there, we look forward to a free, fair, credible election. First of all, what is a free election? Free election simply means that people are allowed to actually express their franchise. And then fair means that what is voted, let it be what is reported. And then credible means it should actually display, at the end of the day, the final result should actually display the total votes that was casted. That is as important as that, right? So we want a free, fair, and credible election. And because power is actually taken, you don't just get power on the platter of gold. It makes it more difficult in systems like Nigeria for us to have a free, fair, and credible election. And so, if we must have it, we must say it must come to an end for those in power to intimidate the ordinary Nigerian just to take power. We must say it must come to an end. We must come to that point and say, yes, enough is enough. And for us to say enough is enough, we have to get to that point that we'll be ready that the ultimate price can be paid along the way. Yes, we might pay the ultimate price. Like the people of Osun State, a couple of persons, as I said earlier, have lost their life. And a couple of them, they actually sustained injuries. I hope we know that a lot of dogs were arrested at the end of the day. I hope we know that arrests were also made on people who went to defend and to protect their vote. A lot of the people under their court party, their court supporters, they were actually detained. So these are some of the sacrifices that are paid when the citizen wants their own decision, wants their own candidates to win the election. And this goes further to call on the Osun State governor, the person of Adeleke, that those families that have lost their life, he must call them. He needs to reach out to them. He needs to commiserate with them. He needs to reward them because this election was not won by his might, but by the will of the people. He needs to call them together. He needs to actually tell them, thank you for ensuring that the mandate of the people prevailed. So it will be unfair if at the end of the day, he doesn't reward that family, those families. It will be really unfair if he doesn't reward them. You need to reach out to all of them, especially those sets that got injured along the way and those that are still in detention. You need to ensure that they all secure their freedom, and those that need treatment, they get their treatment. That's another angle to it. And also to Davido, we know Davido has been everywhere, here and there, to ensure that his uncle actually secured his second term. It wasn't easy. And that's why sometimes in life, you need somebody like a Davido in your life to be able to stand in for you, to fight for you. Because some battles are not won alone. You don't win some battles as an island. You need support from people, the people around you, to be able to win certain battles. And Davido have gone all out, not minding his music career, his musical career. He doesn't mind losing, not being invited to Edo State, not being invited to any state at all to perform. He sacrificed, he put his career on the line to ensure his uncle gets the power. We need those kind of people around us. And also, as the people have turned up to Davido too, this is also a clarion call to him to ensure that as much as his uncle will be doing his part, him too should be able to reach out to those families that lives were lost. He should be able to also reach out to those families that sustained injuries. At least their children can get, if at least the barest minimum, a free education. At least they should get scholarship to be able to cater and say, okay, this is the reward for the ultimate price that was paid by your parents for this election. You get? And then when Governor Adeleke actually comes on board, when he's sworn in fact, he's still the incumbent. So no need of even talking about swearing in. He should be able to govern the people. Let the people start feeling the governance. Let the people start feeling the positive impact of governance. The roads, the good roads he promised them, let them feel it. The salaries, let them feel the increment. Those are some of the things that they need at this period. Yeah, thank you everyone for connecting. I can see all of us. Thank you so much. And as you're just connecting, help us like the live stream, okay? And in the comment box, help us drop your own perspective, your own opinion about the election that just took place. What's your own observation? What's your own contribution? What do you have to say about the election? Let us know. That's for Osun State in the comment box. And what are we looking at for the year 2027? What do you foresee? And pushing further, I would also recommend that at this point, Governor Adeleke should not just relax. Because we know in Nigerian politics, The politicians have now made it a tradition that electoral results are being declared in court. So elections are not just won at the pool. They go further, they go further to push with court proceedings and so on. I know that that will not be a difficult thing for him, but he should not relax because looking at his opponent, the APC member, they had about 400 and something thousand votes. It's not it's not more at all. That shows you that his opponent have support. And opposition parties, opposition members, they also have the power to destabilize a system. And so that's why he should not relax at all, so that these people will not destabilize his government for him. So he should be able to call agreed members, to be able to work alongside, carrying his opponent to, even though they work from a distance, at least to the best of his capacity, to ensure that they don't destabilize the system for him. That's another important thing that should be noted. He should not just relax because he has won the election, that all is over. That's very important. They might want to litigate, the election, they might want to destabilize the system, a lot of things. We can remember using citing example with the River State. We know how much Sims Fubara actually faced. He faced a lot of litigation, a lot of challenges, even got to the point of impeachment. So these are some of the things he should anticipate, especially if in the general election, the president actually lost in his state. He will have a lot of challenge to face. So he shouldn't just relax. He should be doing his homework. He should be able to see that he reach out to aggrieved parties. He reach out to those persons that were his opponents and see how to smoothen things together with them, that this is for the overall interest of the citizen, the overall interest of the good people of Osun State. And pushing further, on the other live stream we talked about the coalition plan that is supposed to take place by 18th of this month. And from my perspective on that live stream, I was saying, for me, it's not necessary. Because taking an example from this very election that just took place, I don't think that somebody like Peter Obi needs any coalition to win the election. Because the interest of Atiku Abubakar, I don't see that interest being bent down. I don't think that man will bend his interest to allow Peter Obi to step in as a presidential candidate. And you know that greater population of the masses, they actually want Obi to come up and not an Atiku ticket. So I don't think that Peter Obi will want to bend. And if he bend, that would actually affect the kind of support they will get from the electorate. The people may not mind continuing with Tinubu instead of an Atiku ticket. That's another challenge on its own. So for me, I believe that that meeting is irrelevant at this point because the tune for 2027 have already been set. And we are just waiting for January 2027 to reach. And we already know by 20th, which is there about 4 days from now, or 3 days plus from now, campaign will officially be launched. But if Atiku at any point sincerely wants to step down for Peter Obi to take the ticket, then for me, it's a go ahead. Then the opposition can actually step in. But for Rabiu Kwankwaso, except maybe there will be an agreement for him that, okay, since we have already agreed, you come in 2031, then Kwankwaso can step down for. But I believe that Kwankwaso is another candidate of choice that they will be using because both the president and the vice cannot come from the south. I don't think it can come from the south. It will not be fair enough for the northerners. And that will be a loophole for Tinubu to actually win because Donald Duke is from the south. What is his name? Shey Makinde is from the southwest. And then this guy, Adebayo, is from the southwest. So those are the major people. Then Sandy Ono is from the south-south. So nobody at all, none of those opponents from the north is actually a major or popular figure that can be used for the VP. So Kwankwaso still remains the most formidable vice presidential candidate as long as 2027 is concerned. So if they will allow the ticket that Adobe and Kwankwaso ticket should continue, then that can fly. If not, it is highly unnecessary. Pushing further, before we push from there, please, if you are just connecting, thank you so much for joining this live stream. I really appreciate. Please do well to like the live stream, okay? Do well to double tap on your screen to like the live stream, or you press the like button below. And also share your opinion in line to that. Do you think that this coalition, the possible coalition of the ADC, NDC, PDP, and the APM, as well as the PR, yeah, the SDP, and then the People's Redemption Party. It's something that's going to be feasible with the likes of Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Do you think that will be possible? Then, pushing further for 2027, please, as the campaign period starts, let's get to sensitize the people and let them know that, please, just as the Osun State election have taken place, your vote will count. In 2027, your vote will count. Your vote will count. Don't sell your vote for money. Don't sell your vote for 10,000 naira that cannot take you in today's economy to anywhere. 10,000 naira will not take you anywhere. And so we should ensure that we get to create awareness to the people. And those are our parents in the village. They're the people that are easily going to be entrapped by that. Let's notify them. As we send them money to the village, let's let them know that if we must be able to send them something meaningful rather than going down from what it is, then they should be able to come out and vote. 1, 2, ensure that they don't sell their votes to anybody at all. They should be able to come out and vote the candidate of our choice. Not that the father will be voting for, let's say, for instance, Donald Duke, and the children will be voting for Atiku. Let's have a collective voice as long as 2027 is concerned. Let's have a collective voice. Let's have a united front. All right, that is very, very important as 2027 draws closer. Let's get to inform them that this morning, if they give them that 5,000 naira, that 5,000 naira will not last them beyond 2 weeks. In fact, even 3 days off, because things are that expensive. So they should ensure that they actually cast their vote for who. Because I think we at the urban area, that's the cities, we should be able to be more informed on who is more credible enough to pilot the affairs of the country come 2027. We should let them know that, please, don't sell your vote. Don't sell your vote. Vote this person, vote that person. This person has proven competence over the past. For me, I've also reached out to my parents, my relative, everybody close to me to let them know that I am voting Peter Obi. That is a man that have expressed the competence, the level of competence that I can say that can move this country to a better place. This is a man that can that has that code to reset the country, to give us a better Nigeria. And so therefore, if I am voting Peter Obi, every member of my family cannot vote otherwise. It is important to note that they cannot vote otherwise. So these are some of the awareness we need to start letting them know. And then, okay, thank you everyone for connecting. I can see a couple of us still staying online. Please, the floor is open for us. What do you have to say about the Osun State election? What are your contributions? And also, on the other part, we talked about the possible coalition between the major opposition parties ranging from PDP, SDP, APM, PRP, and ADC as well as NDC. What is your own projection? What's your own prediction about it? And then for the aspect of awareness, how do you intend to create more awareness as the campaign season is actually kicking off by 20th? What's your own strategy that you have kept in place to ensure that our votes will come out, the people around you come out and vote, and they don't sell their vote, as well as that their votes should be counted, right? So let us know in the comment box, what's your own opinion? What's your opinion on that aspect? So for those who are not yet aware, this is also to remind us that Governor Adeleke has been declared the winner, has officially been declared the winner by INEC. So the courts, the ball is now in his court, right? For him to give the people good governance. The ball is now in his court to be able to compensate those families that lost their lives, those families that paid the ultimate price to ensure he got his re-election. What's your opinion about Osun State election? Let us know in the comment box, okay? Please, if you have not liked this live stream, kindly help us to like the live stream, okay? If you are yet to like the live stream, kindly help us to like the live stream, please. And also in the comment box, let us know where you are connecting from. What's your view, what's your opinion, what's your take about the Osun State election? The floor is open for us. Help us to like the live stream, okay? Help us like the live stream. Let's know where you are connecting from. Let us know where you are connecting from. Want to get to know you, want to get to meet you, want to know your own opinion about the Osun State election, want to know who you'll be voting in 2027. So do well to comment in the comment box. Please, if you are here to like the live stream, do well to like the live stream, okay? Yeah, this very opportunity is open for contribution to start coming in. This very opportunity is open for contributions to start coming in. Please don't stay mute at this point. Don't stay mute. Drop in your own opinion. What do you think about the just concluded Osun State election? What do you think about the proposed coalition of 18th August between the various major opposition candidates? And then what do you think about the campaign? What is your own strategy that you are putting in place as the campaign will be officially launched on the 20th of August? What's your own strategy that you are going to be using to create awareness? Let us know in the comment box. Let us know in the comment box. And I think another aspect I want to talk about for the Osun State election, it is important that our politicians get to know that they are not God. That is another significant lesson I learned from the election. It is important that they get to know they are not Nebuchadnezzar, they are not God at all. You know, most of these are politicians. They get so power drunk that they feel that all the power of this world revolves around them, that the people no longer matter at all at all. And that's why they could boldly make some level of claims. They could boldly make some level of claims. They could go out to challenge the masses, contrary to the opinion of the masses. They will come out and say, you don't have supporters. We have the supporters on ground. You can't win. Our candidate is already the winner. You can imagine, let's use, for instance, the Minister of Aviation the other day who came out and said that 2027 election is a coronation. If you are not starting from the point of a God factor, you can't make such kind of declaration when we have other candidates who also have supporters with them, who have organic supporters. I don't mean supporters that you buy with money. Somebody like Governor Okpebelo, I don't know where he's standing at this point. I don't know where that man, I don't know where he will bury his face. Because right now, I'm even ashamed on his behalf. Somebody like Ojun Sokalu, I don't know where those people will bury their face. This is a major slap on the APC. Because they have taken, and that's how God disgraced people. And this is what is also going to happen in 2027. A big disgrace. They should be anticipating that. They should be anticipating that big disgrace. You can't be claiming to take the position of God at all. When you speak as though you have the final authority. This life that we have so like this, my dear, that 2027, if God do not even want some of those that are candidates to reach that point, they may not. And so why claiming the position of God? Why claiming the position of God? Just imagine a whole state, somebody from another state is wanting to intimidate the citizens, making a final decree that he's going to lose. Governor Adeleke is going to lose. There's a dancing governor. It's a dancing governor, and so what? Is it your state? I think they have learned the hard way. And 2027, we need to teach them a harder lesson than that. They have more lesson to learn. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning for APC. It's just the beginning. I believe that Nigerians, our eyes have begun to open. Our eyes have begun to open at this point, because if you have not learned something from this Osun State election, my dear, there are lots you need to learn. Because for me, I have taken a lot of lesson home. A lot of lesson. One, you can't take the position of God. Two, the vote of the people can actually count if they want their vote to be counted. Their vote will not count to the degree for which they play complacency, to the degree for which they play I don't care. But when they say I care, I really care, their vote will count. The power indeed in a true democratic system rests within the people. And the Osun State people have gone further to prove that. Another lesson I learned is that, my dear, power is not given, power is taken. You can see the last minute work that Davido and his uncle had to do. Just imagine if they took this kind of energy from day one when they assumed governance. Imagine if all electoral officers, all public officers take this kind of energy to perform the role, the function for which we voted them in for. Just imagine how much Nigeria would have been transformed. Nigeria would have been far ahead. But because they relax, knowing that votes don't count, they have that mindset, votes don't count. And so they just relax. They believe they can buy their way through. So that's another important lesson I've learned. I have learned that lesson. I believe that we should always make them uncomfortable in that office so that they can be able to work, put in the effort, put in the energy, and work and deliver good governance to the people. And that's why 2027, it is Nigeria as against APC. If you are thinking that 2027 is between Nigeria and NDC, you are just playing. If you are thinking 2027 is between APC and ADC, or APC and APM, or APC and PRP, or APC and SDP, or APC and NDC, you are just joking, because 2027 is APC versus Nigerians. The mass population of hungry Nigerians, the mass population of those in states like Jos and Benue State that have lost their life to insecurity. That's what 2027 election is. The people are going to come out and express their grievances at the pool by voting in a competent leader. A leader that will not just end at the airport and then turn his way back, or call for the victim to say they should come and meet him in the airport. 2027 is going to be massive disappointment for the APC. And if you are still supporting APC at this point, I don't know what you are still waiting for. I don't know what evidence you are still waiting for. If you are still supporting APC at this point in time, with a degree of failure that this party have actually failed, if you are still supporting that party, I don't know what you want to see again. I don't know what you want to see again. Look at the spread of insecurity. I don't think they are up to 5 or 6 states left that have not been affected by insecurity. I'm even talking about insecurity. That is even at the level of the banditry and the rest. Because if you go further to check at other level of insecurity, my dear, Nigeria is nothing to write home about. And that's why 2027, we must vote in good governance. We must vote in good governance. We must ensure that the people coming in must have certain level of reliability, certain level of competence, capacity. They have a roadmap to be able to rescue Nigeria. They have a plan, a well-crafted plan that is well articulated and well understood by the people. Nobody should come and tell you that we should give Tinubu more time. More time to do what? Let him tell us what he wants to be doing. In the rest 4 years from 2027 upward, what is he going to be doing? Any opposition candidate that is coming, what are they actually going to be doing? Peter Obi have told us that for electricity, for instance, he's going to be, at least before he leaves office, he didn't promise beyond 10,000 megawatts is going to be supplied. He's not saying he's going to generate alone. He said it's going to be supplied across the country. He has said that he's going to reduce government spendings. Those are some of the questions we should be asking each of these candidates. He has told us he's going to reduce government spendings. We know somebody like Buhari started that particular aspect until he started drifting. where he started cutting. He brought an idea like the TSA, sorry, single treasury account. The only issue I saw in such kind of strategy to cut government spending was that all the money recovered, where did it go to? All the money recovered, where did it go to? All those ghost workers that were removed from the payroll, where was the money going to? Those are some of the things we need to look at. So here I say it's going to cut government spending. You don't need mass entourage when the people are insecure. They are securing you as a leader, you are doing nothing. You're just there enjoying the money, lavishing the money. So those are some of the strategies he has said he's going to implement. Yeah. Sorry, a moment, please. Okay. So those are some of the strategies he has told us that he's going to implement to cut down government spendings. You can't be traveling abroad. When the people voted you to serve us in Nigeria, you are sleeping in France. You are sleeping in France. You are traveling to UK up and down. When you have headache, you travel to UK. When your citizens have headache, they go to prayer houses because they cannot afford to pay for the healthcare services. When your children, in fact, before they even get to age 7, they have already paid the school fee from age 7 to age 25 in universities abroad in dollar, not even in naira, in dollar. Whereas the people who voted you in, when, most of these politicians, they never had anything they were doing before they even got into office. They never had anything at all. But the next thing, you start seeing them sending their children abroad for school. What changed? Some of them, their children were schooling in public schools, in private schools in Nigeria, paying the same naira with us. But immediately they get to office, level don't change. And the next thing, they start squandering the money that they were supposed to use for project implementation. So that's why we need to start asking them. Like that point, Peter Obi actually stressed, is very important. Cutting down government spendings is very, very important. For you to send most of these politicians, each of those trips they go, do you think it's small money? Do you know how much of dollars are going? How much of dollars? Their girlfriend is sick. The next thing is UK. Their auntie is having small waist pain. The next thing is UK. But you are suffering here with healthcare services that you cannot afford. That's why you go to most of those our healthcare facilities, because they have not had patronage. For instance, the primary healthcare, how many local government are proud of having an equipped primary healthcare centers? How many of them? I can remember some of those back then in Cross River State, some of those primary healthcare centers, they have been emptied by hoodlums. Who goes in? Because one, the environment is even unsafe. They go in there, pack all the equipment that were purchased. Those are some of the challenges that we are facing in Nigeria that needs to be addressed. Because if the government were actually using some of these our facilities, these our infrastructures, they would have been able to ensure that wherever they carry out any of those infrastructural projects, that it will be well secured and safe, and that those properties will not be carted away by hoodlums. And you get to some of those primary healthcare centers, the workers themselves, they go to work from 11, 12 o'clock because they know that after all, who I won't go see, who I won't go see, who is coming, and then by 2 o'clock they're already on their way home. So the money that was spent to establish those facilities, give them 4 or 5 years, the facility is already down. Because people are not patronizing them. Our politicians are patronizing abroad. So we need candidates that will be able to cut down government spendings. Peter Obi have told us that for the domestic investors or domestic citizens, that's people within the country, Nigerian citizens, is going to empower them to ensure that if you're in business, your business will flourish. You give your enabling environment for your business to flourish. If you're no matter what form of area you are, as long as you are investing in the country, it will give you that business atmosphere for you to actually flourish in it. We look at the current APC administration, taxation alone. Let me use an instance for the transport system, right? Let's use a common taxi driver. Between point A to point A, he will settle the army, he will settle the police, he will settle road safety, he will settle VIO, he will settle, have I mentioned road safety? He will settle road safety. For Lagos State, for instance, he will settle LASMA, he will settle those ones, those agberos. At the end of the day, how much is it taking him? And tell me why transport should not be expensive. Tell me why transport should not be expensive. Now let's go to people that own shops, right? Let's go to people that own shops. How much do they pay for shops to secure a shop? How much do they pay? And then you pay, let's say you deal with cold chain kind of product. There is no light. You need to be purchasing fuel to run the business. And then community levy you will pay. Certain tax you will pay. Go to the market. Check how many times those people, those street boys, how many times they come to collect, try to give ticket. Check how many times. And you think that people will still be able to maintain. First, to even start the business is not easy. It's not easy. How much do you even sell at the end of the day? The people who open their shop and they cannot be proud of 10,000 naira at the end of 24 hours. So, coupled with that, the government is still even proposing to us about taxation. So we don't need that kind of leadership. We want a leadership that will give an enabling environment for the local investors to invest. And it is when the local investors can, because when you know that this is my country and your government is making things better for you, you'll be able to develop the country. You will think development, you think progress, rather than cheating the people. Because if you talk about international investors, when they come in, they are not looking at the progress of the country. They are rather looking at the progress of their own establishment. And then before you even go further to talk about the international investors coming in, there have to be things like security. There have to be reduction in taxation. You can't be overtaxing them and you believe that they are still going to continue their investment. So 2027, we need each of those candidates to tell us what do they want to do differently. What are they planning to do differently? What is their own structure? What's their own template to rule us? What's the template they had on ground? Do they just want to come and continue enjoying the funds? We talk about education, right? For instance, we need, what do you have for us? Because if you don't have education in your own template, then my dear, we don't need that kind of candidate. If you don't talk health, we don't need it. If you don't talk about power, we don't need those kind of candidates. Because talk about what makes life comfortable, especially lately. If you don't have a good light, if you don't have light in your house, you don't have water. Do you know that, like play, in recent times, our candidates don't talk about potable water again. Whereas there are cities, there are places where you can't get a portable and good water supply. There are places like that, you can't get good water. There are places you can't get good water. That's very important to note. So we need to talk about all these things. What are your plans in place? And the next aspect is security, which is very paramount. There are communities today that the indigenous have abandoned it, at least not less than the last 6 months. In fact, they don't even have the hope of going back to the community again, just so if their life can be spared. So these are some of the things we need to start asking. Do you want to continue employing military men, police, army, navy, road safety, all of them, and then the order they need? What do I mean by order? Let me go to all these bandits. Sorry, a moment. Let's use bandit for instance. You can't tell me that along the course of fighting with these bandits, they can kill somebody, they can kill my colleague, and then when we now get hold of them, we rehabilitate them and unleash them back to the society. Then what was the cause? What was the essence? What was the essence of even starting it? So what is your own strategy when you come in that you are going to use to this? For me, that aspect of rehabilitation of all this banditry and so on, for me, it should be scrapped out. It is not relevant in any way. There is no advantage of it in any way. You are rather encouraging it. Because the people, in fact, even though you did not even plan to go to that aspect, you think about it, be like, okay, after all, if they catch me, all I have to do is just to surrender, get rehabilitated 3 to 4 months. Do you know what it means to unalive somebody? Do you know what it means to buy somebody? If you actually know what that means, it means that your mind has become so strong that people's life no longer matters to you. That's what it means. And you think that in 3 4 months you can take away that hardened-heartedness. Even to kill chicken is not easy. It's not easy at all. Then talk about human. For someone to get to that level, that person does not need even 2 years rehabilitation. 2 years is too small. So if you are coming as a candidate for 2027, what is your own proposition to handle insecurity? What's your own proposition? These are some of the questions you should be looking at. Do they have the matching order, our military men? Do they have the full force, the full backing? In terms of remuneration, what are the packages kept for them? For their family, those that will lose their life, what are the packages kept for them, for their family? Those are aspects we should be looking at. So at this point, I will look at towards bringing this live stream towards an end. But while moving towards that direction, I would once again congratulate the good people of Osun State for coming out to vote. And not just vote, to secure their vote, to protect their vote, to ensure that their vote counts, to ensure that they put the APC to disgrace, and let them know that the true power in a democratic system lies within the people. And to my final recommendation to the governor and the party chieftain of Accord Party, please, for those families that have lost their life, have been injured, are still in detention, please, let's be able to reach out to them. Let's compensate them in at least the barest minimum scholarship for their children. At least they should be able to get that. At least that's the list of them. So please, let's try to reach out to those families. Let's encourage them so that in 2027, they can still see need or subsequent election to actively participate in it. Because if they are not compensated, starting from 2027, you may not see the active participation again. So they need to be compensated. That is very important. So at this point, please, if you have any suggestion, any recommendation at all, please drop it in the comment box. What do you think about this Osun State election? What's your own perspective? What's your own view? Let us know in the comment box, okay? We'll be bringing this live stream towards a close at this point. If there is no question, no suggestion, no recommendation. So that's in the next 2 minutes, we should be done. So for everyone connecting, if this is your first time connecting to this live stream, help us like the live stream. Help us also to subscribe to this channel, please. Help us subscribe to the channel. It's free of charge. You don't pay to subscribe. You don't pay to like. It is actually free of charge. All right, I want to believe that at this point, we can actually call it a day, because I look forward to that moment where this particular channel becomes your most favorite click. For now, stay safe, remain blessed. To Governor Adeleke, congratulations to you, and to the good people of Osun State, thumbs up to you all. Take care. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.